Welcome back to TCG Titans. Because Nolan was frustrated with Standard, we're going to be opening this box of Conspiracy Take the Crown because I have a couple of these lying around.
Not frustrated, just bored.
Yeah. And I kind of want to try to go after that foil Kaya because it's a nice looking card and it's worth money.
It's worth many money. One thing though, speaking of standard, is the challenger decks were announced today as of February 23rd by Wizards of the Coast, and they are $30 standard legal decks, 75 cards total. With it's your 60 card main board with a 15 card sideboard. The decks that they chose essentially to copy.
Yeah, the rare is a draft modifier. That's always good. But
Right, those are always exciting. So the decks that they chose to copy
just
were
incentive to build a cube.
mono red aggro, Mardu vehicles, blue white approach, and black green constructor or green black constructor, however you want to say it. So
That card was upside down.
they call it hazard aggro, and they have one hazard in the deck, one Glorybringer, which is, Glorybringer is really cheap. Glorybringer's dropped a lot, actually. I remember Glorybringer was around $8 recently, so it's cut in half. It's around $4 each.
That's pretty cool.
But they have, that is cool.
Well, hurly burly.
They have 4 Bomat Couriers, 4 Fanatical Firebrand, 3 Soulscar Mage, 3 Harsh Mentor, 3 Kari Zev, 4 Oncop Crasher, 1 Hazard the Fervent, 1 Glorybringer. So right there, the creature base is pretty much the entirety of Mono Red. They throw in 1 Chandra Torch of Defiance, so expect that to fucking drop dramatically. Like, that's Chandra's gonna be like fucking $10 pretty soon.
Yeah.
Granted, these don't come out till April 6th. But the other cards I have are 2 Magnum Spray, 4 Shock, 2 Abrade, and 4 Lightning Strike.
That's always nice.
That's a fucking good card.
Yay, birds.
And then the sideboard is, pretty typical. Chandra's Defeat, Magma Spray, Sentinel Totem, Key to the City, Kari Zev's Expertise, and PNLR. So it's a pretty standard sideboard. Obviously, you throw in some money, you can make this deck exactly like Mono Red. And you won't have to pay nearly as much as like what the deck actually costs right now. Another deck that I found hilarious that they've pretty much just completely ripped off was Mardu Vehicles. Other than the land base, that you'll need to fix that. They do throw in Bomat Courier, Toolcraft Exemplar, Scrap Heap Scrounger, Veteran Motorist, Depala, and PNLR. So it's a slightly older version, but it's still really good. 4 Lightning Strike, 4 Unlicensed Disintegration again. Just very typical for the deck. And then 4 Heart of Kirin. So they're throwing in a mythic rare that was, at one point, I want to say before Amonkhet was about $20 a pop.
Yeah, but it dived, didn't it?
It dived a lot because, the more people opened the set and the less Mardu Vehicles was in the meta, the card dropped down to $6. But still, that's pretty insane. 1 Aether Sphere Harvester, 1 Cultivator's Caravan, and 1 Sovereign Council Flagship. Not really your ideal Mardu vehicle. Usually, it's like 4 Hearted Kieran, 4 Aether Sphere Harvester, and that's about it. But it's running 3 Aether Hub, 1 Concealed Courtyard, 1 Dragon Skull Summit, and 1 Inspiring Vantage. 4 Spire of Industry, which threw me the fuck off. Like, Spire of Industry is a very heavily played land in multiple forms. So that was pretty crazy. And then the sideboard is pretty much the same as the monoretic, so they throw in 1 Aether Sphere Harvester and 4 Duress. The approach of the second Sun deck I found pretty hilarious because it's pretty much just an exact same copy. The only difference is Cafnet is on the front. Like Cafnet's like the main creature in the deck, whereas in most decks you'll see a Torrential Gearhulk or like 2 Gideon of the Trials. But it's running 4 Opt, 4 Sensor, 4 Supreme Will, 4 Glimmer of Genius, 1 Renewed Faith, 1 Settle the Wreckage, farm to market. And for enchantments, turn an Aether Meltdown out, which you'd probably switch up a bit. Aether Meltdown's kind of mediocre now. You don't really have a use for the energy, so I mean that's why like most of the decks don't earn it anymore. You probably want Ixalan's Binding, and the land base obviously could use some work because it does have irrigated farmland, but you're gonna need, so that'll only cost you like $25 at most. And then you've got yourself a full running approach to the second Sun deck because they even have the real Caracals.
Oh, that's neat. It's a pretty good one.
I did a pretty cool commander.
Yeah. That melee ability is nice. Whenever it attacks, it gets +1/+1 for each opponent you're declaring a creature attacking. And then all your other creatures get melee as well.
That is pretty good. And this is another deck. Actually hilarious because these are all like, especially since this deck just came back into the since like Pro Tour Hour Devastation, where I think the Sam Party played a Constrictor deck. So this deck came back because obviously Sultai Energy was good with Winding Constrictor, but since Rogue Refiner is banned, same with Attune, it's just a Constrictor deck now. But it has 1 Walking Ballista, 4 Glint Sleeve Siphoner, and Glint Sleeve Siphoner has definitely gone up in price. I remember I bought my play.
This is neat. A Mythic Conspiracy.
Yeah.
First
that would actually
cast
be...
each turn costs 1 less, but you can't cast instant or sorceries.
I mean, if you just run like a mono white, like,
the thing is,
or like a red white deck.
It only happens in draft, so.
Yeah, but like if you draft red white,
yeah,
or just mono white, just run creatures. That's what I do when I play draft normally. But yes, they have Glint Sleeve Siphoner, they have Verdurous Gearhulk. Guys, pretty hilarious. It's running 3 Rishkar, 3 Dream Stealer, 4 Constrictor, 4 Blossoming Defense, which is pretty funny because that card is like super sought after. It's running so many decks. 1 Fatal Push, which, fair. 2 Walk the Plank, 2 Hour of Glory. You could probably just take those out and, make them more Fatal Push. And then the lands need work because it's 4 Aether Hub, 7 Forest, 4 Foul Orchard, 2 Hash of Oasis, 8 Swamp. Really all you're missing is Blooming Marsh, and you've got yourself like a super solid. Really all these decks are missing is like better and more consistent dual lands, except for the mono red deck. And I think that says a lot about like the position that Standard is. And modern players are gonna just bragging constantly about how superior Modern is to Standard. Because it's like, oh, we don't have these challenger decks. Our cards still retain their value.
Yeah, until Wizards decides to reprint them.
Right.
I don't think anything in Modern is on any form of reserved list, so.
No. Because they don't go that far back. Like legacy players can say that
Yeah.
because dual lands. But granted, a lot of legacy players also play fucking Death and Taxes or some sort of Delver deck, and Delver is also modern legal. Death and Taxes is it's pretty much an identical deck, modern as it is in Legacy, minus a few cards. Mostly just lands. It's just a land base that's like completely different. That's one of the cards in Death and Taxes too, is Recruiter the Guard. Yeah, I've honestly decided to take a step back from Magic, just because like I don't know what you're at your card shop, Gabe, but
Pretty okay.
at mine it's been people complaining about the unban, and then people
Oh, finally.
a mythic.
Neat.
That's actually really fucking solid. Oh, that's actually played in Legacy.
Neat.
I'm pretty sure it is. I think it's called Sneak and Tell. The sneak attack in that.
Nice. I'm okay with that. A mythic.
That's a good mythic at that.
I wonder how much that's worth.
I can look really quick. Show and tell. It's selling for $14 in
Decent.
or $11.50 depending on the shop. The non-verified ones cheaper.
Hey.
Oh, that's a fucking now that's a mythic.
Yeah.
That's in like every Sultai Delver deck. It's in every Sultai deck I've ever played against. See.
Yeah, I think I checked. He's like $20. 20 or 14. When I was checking, I think I was checking Goldfish's prices.
Let's see here. TCG player can seriously take the near mint is 36.
Oh, okay. Better than what I thought. That's pretty good.
It was 45 like a month ago.
Still, good pull. Good pull.
Oh yeah, fucking grateful.
That's half the box's cost.
Yeah, so my card shop has pretty much been
foil.
People complaining.
I like the because even though they're like, oh, they only really matter in draft, I like the borders they give the conspiracy like draft effect cards.
Yeah.
Looks nice shiny.
But my card shop has been modern players complaining about the Jace and Bloodbraid Elf unban. And then the other half, like, being excited about it, saying like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, it's going to make Modern a bit more fun, maybe more people will play it. Like, sure, the price of cards are going to go up, especially Jace. Like, Jace shot up dramatically.
That just means Masters is going to be worth more.
Exactly, and more people are going to open up. Good for Wizards. And then maybe Wizards will be like, cool, this sold. Now we know what sells. Now we know what people want. Maybe they'll fucking... I doubt it, to be honest, but like maybe they'll actually...
Huh, that's neat. Garbage fire.
That's me. I'm a garbage fire.
That's my life.
But yeah, some people, I don't know, it's been bickering back and to listen to. It's like, I go to play Commander, or I go to play Standard or something, or like I'll borrow like someone's Modern deck or Legacy deck, and all I hear is like bitching and moaning about the state that Magic is in, and it's like the state that it's in, that Wizard put it in, isn't even what's been driving away from the game. It's the player base itself. Because all they do is complain. All they do is complain about each other more than anything. Like, that's what irritates me the most, is like they'll complain about like, oh, Wizards didn't do this, and then they're just like, well, I don't get why people are bitching so much, or I don't get how people could be happy. Play the fucking game, dude.
Ooh, Fire Extinct Arena.
That's a good card too.
Oh, last pack for this half. Come on, Foil Kai.
That and like Popper died pretty fast. It's a finding.
Let's see. Hollowed Burial. Neat.
So it's like, fuck, what's that card that people play in Miracle? That's literally the exact same thing, just without the Miracle effect.
I can't remember what it is.
That's actually really fun.
But that's it for this half.
Terminus. There we go.
Okay, yeah.
It's one cheaper than Terminus and doesn't have the Miracle.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
Yeah, so that's it for this half of this box. We'll be back with the other half. Hopefully we'll get some other good pulls. Things that'll make this box worth it.
You haven't pulled a Planeswalker in like 4 boxes.
Yeah.
Triggered.
Yep. Oh well. Maybe in this half. Who knows?
Got it.
I gotta
God
be like
hates
that.
us.
Anyway, later.
Yeah.